How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the 14th episode of the post-Quinn Hughes Vancouver Canucks Franchise Mode, where today we're going to be going through the entirety of the 2029-2030 regular season. And if we make the playoffs, I will do the whole next week episode on the playoffs. If we don't, we will go to the draft lottery yet again and see where we are picking for yet another offseason of building towards a potential contender. You guys probably know the lines, but we're just going to go through them yet again and see how we're doing here. So our lines are Besser, Pedersen, and Alexander Dadonov, who is a 20-year-old medium elite two-way forward. He's a third line scoring forward at the moment. If you look on the screen, you can see the rules, and you can see a scratched out rule. We couldn't play prospects above their role, but honestly, we don't have enough players to fill out to where we can't play prospects above their role, so this is how we're doing it at the moment. Second line, we got Jonathan Lekkerimäki at 25 years old now, a sniper. Tynan Lawrence at center, and Liam Ogren on the other side. So we got a pretty young line. I mean, Ogren and Lekkerimäki are still considered young. I would say 25 years old. They're starting to enter their primes. Tynan Lawrence, only 21 years old, 87 overall, medium elite, just became a second line forward. I'm so excited for this guy to grow. Third line, we got Ethan Belche, 21-year-old power forward, with Braden Coots, who is 22, 84 overall, a third line scoring forward, which is exactly what we need. I mean, I think our center core is built pretty well here so far. We might not have to make a change, but obviously, we're going to be looking to see if we can get anything that we can out of Elias Pettersson, even with the 3 years of no movement left. And the reason his contract's up is because at one point I did go below the cap floor. Adam Novotny is rounding out that third line, 21 years old, 81 overall sniper. I just want to see if he can get up in development, and then we'll see where we go from there. Fourth line, we got Adam Nemec, same thing with as Novotny, just trying to get him to develop a little bit more. Atu Ratu, he's kind of plateaued. This is what he's gonna kind of be, but I really like 88 faceoffs, and I think that's going to be a very useful thing for us. And Ty Mueller as well. I really like Ty Mueller. I want to get him some playing time, so I decided to put him into the lineup. The only reason he's not center is because of Atu Ratu's faceoffs. Defensively, we got Z Boyum at a 91 overall now. Medium elite. He's still only 23, so he still has room to grow, to potentially grow into like an 82, or not 82, 92, 93, hopefully. I don't see it, but 91 is awesome where he's at. Filip Hronek, 88 overall, 31 years old. It's getting to the end of Filip Hronek's tenure probably in Vancouver. We will be looking to potentially move him this season, maybe probably at, I would say in the off seasons realistically where we could possibly move him, because yeah, the reasoning is because our new player, Suglobov, who's a medium elite defensive defenseman, 6'2", 205, 18 years old. We selected him 4th overall. I'm very excited for him to potentially jump in and, develop with this team. Boyum's getting some X factors, which is really nice to see. Our second pair is Albert Smits, 21 years old. We're hoping to get some development out of him, a defensive defenseman, and Tom Wielander. So this is more of like a kind of a shutdown pair down here. And then DPD, who I think is a defensive defenseman with a defensive defenseman. It would be nice to go pick up an offensive defenseman at some point. If we trade Filip Hronek, Suglobov moves up, we can move Smits down and try to put an offensive defenseman in here while Smits develops. We could see if that's the case. I'd rather put a lower pair offensive defenseman down here. Maybe a guy like Jack Thompson, who we didn't end up getting in this franchise mode because we didn't make the Jet Wu trade. We'll see. Goalies, it's Thatcher Demko, still 87 overall. We're going to be looking at moving him at the trade deadline, unless, even if we are in a playoff spot, because our goaltender, Alexei Medvedev, medium elite, he is absolutely ready to take over the starting job. 86 overall, but I wanted to keep Demko. I didn't want to lose him for nothing, so I signed him to a very generous $9.5 million for 1 year deal, and we can retain 50% and trade him, because we also have Boettinger, who is a high starter who is ready to move into the backup role. I want to say if we make the playoffs, I'm not sure. The AHL, I still got to go pick up some players. I forgot to do that off screen, but this is what it looks like. Some people to Talk about Luamala, low elite, 75 overall, who's 19 years old. Fugelberg, who I'm pretty sure is high top 6. We selected him 6th overall. He's a sniper, 78 overall. We're hoping to see some development out of him. Zachary Drake, who's a low elite, 79 overall, 20-year-old defenseman. He's also a defensive defenseman, so I'm not sure if I'm going to be holding on to him entirely just due to the fact that we have so many defensive defensemen. We might have to move Zachary Drake, or we switch out, we trade Elias Pettersson, DPD, and we see from there, or we keep DPD. You know what, maybe we keep DPD because of how he can play both sides. We got Oscar Dahl, who was an offensive defenseman. He started off at like a 78 overall when we drafted him. He's now 20 years old. He's still only up to like a 79, top 4 medium. Hopefully he's able to grow. Possibly I need to play him in the NHL next season. We'll see. And our defense here in the AHL is pretty stacked. Kudryavtsev is going to be a solid depth defenseman for us. Same with Sawyer Minio, potentially being a good solid depth defenseman for us. So let's move into the season as we are hoping to just make a push, possibly make the playoffs. Like, we can try to jumpstart it like Montreal. I feel like we're kind of at the stage where we have a lot of pieces that we could potentially make a push, but also at the same time, if we don't make the playoffs, it's one of those years where we're just trying to like chug forward through this rebuild. We'll sell off some assets. So looking at our schedule here, we will do the first game against the Edmonton Oilers for the regular season. As a slow Sam, we'll do the Utah Mammoth because they're a fun team. They're a fun team in real life. I'm not sure how they're doing in this franchise mode. We will skip through November. We'll play Montreal in December, so I'm going to make sure to write these down. I just want to get the plan for what we're doing here. So Edmonton, Utah, so U2H, and then MON. We could do Toronto in January. We rarely play Calgary. We'll do Calgary before the trade deadline, and then after we'll do. Let's see here. What team would be? We'll do Winnipeg, WPG, and then at the end of the season we'll do the last game against Colorado. While we're at it, do we have any games against Minnesota that I missed here? Because playing against Quinn Hughes. Oh, we do. I just passed it right before the trade deadline. Yeah, instead of the second... No, that's the first game we're doing against Montreal. I apologize. What was the game that we're doing right before the trade deadline? Was it against Calgary? Yeah, instead of that Calgary game, we'll do Minnesota. How about that? There we go. All right, that's the plan for this episode. I could have done that before, but who cares? Let's move in to the first game, and once we get to November 1st, I will be going through and trying to get the chemistry all booted up, because these are the lines I'm probably going to stick with for a good while at the moment. The only person I'm not going to do chemistry with at the moment is Suglobov, because of the potential of him moving up into the top pair, but everyone else, I'm going to try to set and say that, you know what, this is where you're going to be. So we'll see how that goes when we get there, but let's head to the first game against the Edmonton Oilers. I will see you there. All right, we are in this coach conversation with Jorge Cruz. Now, I did talk about potentially making the playoffs. This conversation will let me know whether the game thinks we are close or not to potentially doing that. So Jorge Cruz, what do you say when we click season goal? On this paper, there are some kinks to work out, but I think this team is good enough to compete for a playoff spot. That is my goal for the team. Sure, that is totally fine. If we don't make the playoffs, I'm not upset about it, but it would be really nice to get some playoff experience under our belt. In terms of what we're doing here, I think I'm going to do conditioning. I think I did 5-on-5 focus last year, so I'm going to do conditioning just to up the speed and acceleration of our players. Hopefully that will help us out here as we move into the game. I'll see you guys against the Oilers. All right, we are here against the Edmonton Oilers, and if you saw that at the end, yes, we did sign Erik Karlsson at $13 million. That was just to get our salary cap up. First period here against the Oilers, we were going down 1-0 thanks to Connor McDavid. Second period here against the Oilers, they add 3, but we also get get 2, and both of them from Ethan Belche, 1 on the power play, and that is the lines I totally forgot to go check out. I want to throw Belche in front of the goaltender. It does not look like he's in front of the goalie on power play, probably 2. As we enter the third period, down 2. Can we pick up 2 to tie the game? Possibly send it to overtime to get some nice action here for this video. They get a power play, we're able to kill it. Come on. We need 1. I don't know if we're going to get it here. 3 minutes to go. 2, 1, 0. And yeah, the Oilers defeat us 4-2 in our first game. And yeah, I don't know if that's going to show how this season's going to go, but we'll see. Let's go check out the power play because I do want to go check that out. I do apologize that I do totally forget to go check that out. He is on first power play. Now, I don't mind first power play here as I don't like this power play setup for our coach. Boyum up, I don't know, not Boyum there. Novotny there. He is a sniper, but he shoots left. I don't want to put a defenseman there, so we can switch him with Besser for now, and we'll see who we can get in for Novotny. Lawrence. What about Leckermack? Why isn't Leckermacky on a power play? That's a little insane to me, as we will go find Jonathan Leckermacky. Change in current line. He shoots right? Yeah, I shoot right. So, yeah, Leckermacky in the up here is what I want. He can get the shot from the point. Boyum works here. +5, that works. Second power play, who did I want in front for the second power play? You know what, we'll throw Dadonov in front of the net. He can go pick up the greasy goals. Ogren there, I don't mind. I don't want Saglobov on this. Who did we switch out? We switched out Adam Novotny. I'm going to go look. Maybe we put Coots in. Who do we got? We got Adam Nemec. What does Adam Nemec do? He's a two-way forward. Not that great of a shot. No decent passing. Coots. Not that great of a shot. Decent passing and puck control. I'll throw Coots in. And we'll see how we'll figure it out here. I think I'll put Philip Hronek up here. Braden Coots shoots right. Hronek shoots right. Yeah, I kind of want Hronek there. Does Ogren shoot left? Ogren can go up into that spot. Tynan Lawrence, what does he shoot here? Tynan Lawrence shoots left. Who has a bit more of a shot? Does Tynan Lawrence have a better shot? Or does Liam Ogren have a... Liam Ogren's got a better shot, so we'll move him down there for a potential one-timer, and that's how we will rock our power play too. Even though it is a -3, I don't think we're going to get much better there. As we'll enter the simulation, we'll move up to get to that game against the Utah Mammoth, and we're going to go sim this together so we can see how this team performs throughout the first couple of games of the season. As we pick up another loss here against the Anaheim Ducks. As much as this simulation thing or the game thinks that we could potentially be a playoff team, a lot of these teams are stacked, so my worry is there about potentially not being a playoff team as we start 0-3. As we pick up our first win here against Seattle, we get another one against Washington. We pick up a loss as we move in 2-4 against the 4-2 Utah Mammoth, as Alexei Medvedev will be getting the start, and it doesn't look like he's off to that great of a start to the season so far. As I'm trying to figure out the buttons for a game that I play consistently as we move into the game against the Mammoth and get 8-time simulation. First period, no goals. Second period, they get 2. Peterka and Kirill Marchenko beat Alexei Medvedev, and we are down 2-0. We get a power play, and Brock Besser is able to beat Hrabel there, but yeah, Kirill Marchenko picks one up immediately after, and we're back down 2. Halfway through the third period, now 15 minutes through. 3, 2, 1. They don't pick up an empty netter, and we lose 3-1 to the Utah Mammoth, as now we are in a spot where it's like, it's probably going to be one of those years, isn't it? As I am watching the Dodgers game right now, and we just picked up a base hit, and that is Kyle Tucker. Okay, so I just wanted to see who hit it. Kyle Tucker hit it. As we'll move into the game against the Montreal Canadiens, which I believe is in December. I will see you guys there. I'll surprise you guys with the record, whether how good, how bad, or how mid it is. So I'll see you guys at this Montreal game. All right, we are here at the game against the Montreal Canadiens. We are currently 1 point out of a playoff spot, 13-11-3. We're on a 4 game winning streak. We have won 6 out of our last 7, and I also tended to some things. I wouldn't sign those AHL players that I need to sign. I signed Cartier, Xavier Bourgault, and Veleno just to fill out those spots. But I also went through the chemistry, as I almost forgot about both of those things, as we're able to up a little bit of chemistry here. I don't think we have as much more minuses as we did. The players who said no are Hronek, Lawrence, Besser, Belche, Ogren, Novotny, and Schmidt. Smits. As, yeah, that third line gets a little bit of a boost here with Coots being up. The X factors there as well helps. Besser said no. Pedersen and Dadonov both said yes. Leckermacki said yes. Lawrence said no. Ogren also said no. Yeah, I did put that down. I thought I missed that for a second. Mueller said yes. Ratu said yes. Nemec said yes. So that is perfect. Our fourth line chemistry is good, but our fourth line in terms of line fit is good, but the chemistry just doesn't get the boost, which is fine. Defensively, we did really need these guys to say yes because they were already a +5, but William did, just so he fits the scheme. And then Albert Smith said no, but Tom Wielander said yes. So Globov, we didn't say anything to because we're going to potentially move him up. Not potentially, hopefully move him up to that Hronek spot. And DPD also said yes. Ethan Belche did say yes initially, but he said no to being for the third line. He thought he could have more of an elevated role, which honestly, fair enough. We just still have Brock Besser, so I'm not quite sure if he's ready for that at the moment. I don't know if I want to move him up. Let's head into this game against the Montreal Canadiens here, as we're going up against the red-hot Jacob Fowler. First period, it is 3-1 us. Ogren, Dadonov, and Ogren again, as Demidov, the demon, Demidov has picked up a goal for the Montreal Canadiens. Second period, we add 2 more. Boyum and Lawrence, that's the young kids showing out here as we add 2 more in the second period. Yeah, Ogren, 25. Dadonov is 20. Lawrence, 21. Boyum, I think, is 24 or 23 in this, and it was shorthanded as well. I skipped the third period. I meant to go slow in the third period. Bolduc picks one up, and we pick up a 5-2 win, extending our winning streak to 5 games as we beat the Montreal Canadiens. Our next game is against the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we will move our way towards that game together, seeing how this team is hopefully able to perform. Are they going to continue to stay hot here as a 5-game winning streak? Are they able to continue it here against Pittsburgh? No, it ends immediately, but we get a win back there against Carolina. We pick up another one against Washington. Detroit, another one. We're on a 3-4 game winning streak now. St. Louis takes a little bit, 5, and then we pick up a loss against Anaheim. So that's a good little winning streak. We need to start keeping it up, though. We need to stay above 500. The first game here against Quinn Hughes and the Minnesota Wild, we take a loss. So that's 3 straight losses. We pick up a win against Chicago, a loss against Carolina, a loss against Nashville. We're losing it. We're going back to 500 here as Andrei Kuzmenko is getting offered to us for a 3rd to 6th. I will not take it. I like how the team is now. I don't think we need to add anything at the moment as we do pick up another loss. If anything, I'd make an upgrade if I possibly could. We pick up another loss before a win against San Jose as we got dangerously close to being 500. A win in the shootout against the New Jersey Devils helps us there. Boston, we get another win. We do not want Damon Stevenson, as we got 2 more games here. A road trip in New York. A win. And another win as we move to 25, 19, and 3. That's good enough for tied for 3rd in the Pacific Division, as the wild card spots are pretty close. I mean, 51, 49, 49, and then it kind of falls off to 45 from there. We're still long ways throughout the season. Things can go right and things can go wrong, but all we're focused on right now is this game against the Montreal Canadiens as we will hop into it. The first period, it's 2-1 us. Elias Pettersson on the power play. Matthews scores a shorthanded goal as Dadonov picked up the first of the game. Second period, the Leafs add 2 from Simon Benoit and then Brandon Carlo. As we move into the third period, Devotny immediately opens the scoring. Ty Mueller, that's some depth scoring to help us. And we 4-3. Dadonov makes it 5-3 as we flip the script on the Leafs here in the third. As we are halfway through, we're able to hold on. The Leafs get a power play. We kill it off. 6 minutes to go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. No empty netter. The Canucks pick up a 5-3 victory over the Toronto Maple Leafs, picking up another win, making it 3 straight on the road trip. I don't know how the road trip's going entirely for us. I'm just going to go double check it. Was that the first? It was the first game. So 3-0 on this road trip. We'll sim through to this Detroit game, and then I'll choose what I'll do after. Can we sweep the road trip? That would be nice. That's what I want to see here as we pick up a point in a loss against the Detroit Red Wings as the Ducks move up past us and the Kraken. Our next game is against the Minnesota Wild right before the trade deadline, and honestly, let's go there together as we'll take a look at what we look to move potentially at the deadline, but I want to get a clearer picture before we get there as we have a bunch of games here before that time as we pick up a win against the Ottawa Senators. We got a game away against the Stars before we move back home against the Blues on a 3-game homestand. As we'll move into the game, hopefully against the Stars here, as the Florida Panthers fired Paul Maurice. I won't go pick him up because I can't go over the coaching budget, as you saw the rules. Dallas, we get a win. St. Louis, we start the homestand with a win in the shootout. Calgary, we continue the homestand against them, as this was the game we were going to simulate, but we chose not to in a 3-0 loss. I think that's a good thing that we didn't simulate that game. Montreal, we pick up a win. LA, we pick up a loss. I was hoping to pick up another win in that game in LA. Buffalo, a win. 2-1. Columbus, in Columbus, win. In Ottawa, can we get another one here? We don't, but we get a point. New Jersey, on the road trip, continuing it, a loss. Philadelphia, continuing the road trip. Another loss as we move into the game against the Minnesota Wild, down 2 points in our division. But the first team that could potentially eliminate us only has 62 points. We are 7 points above them with 3 games before the trade deadline. We need to pick up as many wins as possible. Before we hop into this Minnesota game, though, I want to kind of take a look as, wow, look at how good Medvedev did in the last game, even though he did allow one, that being the only goal against our last game in the against the Minnesota Wild. I'm not sure if we really are in a spot to make a move. I feel like we kind of just stick with what we have. We can sell, but I don't think it's smart. I feel like the offseason is probably the better chance to sell. I know Thatcher Demko, 34 years old, on a one-year deal. You know, you want to try to get as many assets as you can for him, but I will go look at what we have in terms of draft picks and prospects coming up in the system, because if I feel like we're stacked, I feel like we can afford to potentially lose Demko for way less and just move him off to a different team in the offseason for a smaller pick. As of prospects, we have this medium elite Asplund, who I believe I drafted late in the 3rd round in this past draft. Medium elite sniper, so we do have a pretty decent prospect in waiting in our system. Fugelberg in the AHL, 79. I want to see how he's doing. 13 goals, 8 assists, but that's it in 52, only 21 points in 52 games. He's playing first line minutes, but I guess that Abbotsford team just isn't that great. Anyone else in like the system? Of course we got Dahl. We also got this Willis, Drake. How's he doing? He's a defensive defenseman, but he's got 12 assists. He's got 14 points. We got these low elites. We got Filatov. I didn't even see him. We got an 81 overall Filatov who we could probably bring in potentially for this playoff run if we sign him right now. A 78 overall Torres, Lamala, another low elite Zinger, 69 overall, Fitzgerald. I like what we have, draft picks, what are we looking at? We're looking at 2 second-round picks, 3 third-round picks, a 4th, a 5th, a 6th, and a 7th, along with our first-round draft pick in this draft. I feel like we're at a point where we could probably just stand still and move forward with the goaltenders that we have, move forward with the team that we have, and just see how the rest of the year goes and reevaluate in the offseason. Because if Sugobov makes a big jump, then potentially we can move off of Filip Hronek and bring in another defenseman to fill in that top 4 role. I want to go check out our lines just in case there's any ups in overall, and I only see one, as Dadonov is an 85 medium elite now. Not ready for the second line, but slowly building his way to being one of the elite players on this team. Soglobov is up to an 84 overall. That's great development that we're starting to see from him. We have Hronek for the next 3 seasons, so I'm not going to be too... I'm not going to jump the gun and just move Hronek immediately. I will try to be patient with Slogobov, but I don't want this right side to be too tied up and have him potentially stall out and develop. And Albert Smits does move up in overall, which is nice to see. Potentially, I don't know how this would look, but if we move Smits and we move... I don't see a change in chemistry, but we'll see if at the end, I don't know, maybe sometimes the screen glitches out. Potentially move Slogobov up, and we have to play Vilander on the left side, even though he is a right-handed defenseman. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. Goaltendings, that's what I wanted to see. Did Medvedev increase in overall? Not yet. Boetinger is not increasing in overall, and I feel like next season we start him as our backup, and we go with it. Any prospects jumping overall like by a crazy amount? I'm not seeing any. So we will move over to the game against the Minnesota Wild. Now, I think we're just going to stand pat. We're just going to go with what we feel, with what we have, and just see how this season goes. I feel like that's the best thing to do, kind of like how the Montreal Canadiens did it in real life this season. The first period against the Minnesota Wild, we get one, as Dadonov beats Gustafsson for the first goal against the Wild this season. Second period, it's still 1-0, only 16 shots on goal, and we have the lead to their 24 shots. And no goals here as we enter the third period, 5 minutes in, holding off that Minnesota Storm as they continue to rally and continue to add shots against, as we are able to stall them and kind of catch up. We get a power play to waste time. It was a long one, and Ratu adds one to make it 2-0, and we will hold on. And I believe that is Thatcher Demko in net. He will obtain the shutout. 36 saves, Ratu, and Dadonov getting the goals. I just want to go to all events. I do kind of want to see the penalties here. In the third period, it was 2 minor penalties. Eriksson slashing and a holding from Timothy Liljegren. And we beat the Minnesota Wild, picking up a big win here as we will move into the game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. And then who is it against the Anaheim Ducks before we get to the trade deadline. I will enter the trade deadline and kind of look around. I feel like it will be a dumb decision not to, mainly because it's just like you want to see what's there just in case potentially we're able to make a move. A big win against Toronto there as well, which does very much help us. I mean, 59 points and we got 67 points towards 73, so we are 6 points above. So we did drop 1 point in terms of the lead, but we don't have a game in hand. Actually, they have 2 games in hand, so we'll see how it goes with the Calgary Flames here as the season wraps up. That game against Calgary down there is going to be a big game. Let's move over here. We'll advance day. I'll see if I can pick up what we did against Anaheim before we enter the trade deadline. We will not. I am going to keep current block. I'm not going to touch it and do conservative buyer or conservative seller. I'll just keep the current block how it is, as Filip Hronek is on it. I'm pretty sure that was my doing. We will look around at all the players. So we got Matthew Tkachuk, who is available. And I mean, going to pick up a big player like Matthew Tkachuk would definitely help us, but that is the type of big splash that we would make, and I feel like it would hurt our team in the meantime making a big trade like that. As much as it would help us, I don't think we're in the stage where we're going to be buying too heavy. Our defense I feel like is fine. If we're gonna go pick up one guy, I'd probably pick up like a depth defenseman who's better than DPD, who we can like slot in there. Maybe an offensive defenseman, but I'm not quite sure. I'm looking around here. I don't really see that much that like I would want to pick up. Really, like anyone that jumps off the page to me, that would be like a great pickup. Um, yeah, as we get reset here, I mean, Nikishin's 28, right? Like, I feel like that is a decent pickup if we were like a dead set playoff team. We could go pick up Niels Hoglander as depth. I mean, I feel like a guy like Niels Hoglander wouldn't hurt. Definitely wouldn't hurt. Do we have an offensive defense? I mean, we do technically have an offensive defenseman in our system. We could move Erik Karlsson in, who we are paying $13 million to not play for us. He's just collecting that paycheck and sitting in the press box while our team makes a push for the playoffs. I feel like Erik Karlsson kind of is just the answer. I feel like we already have the answer that we need in Erik Karlsson. Maybe a depth. I'm going to go pick up a guy like Jason Dickinson. As it does say we would be interested, it's not going to cost us that much. And we do have an extra player spot available. Is a fourth round pick going to do it? I feel like we're going to have to give up a third. Not sufficient at all. We have 3 third-round picks this year. I'm totally fine giving up one of them. I'm going to give up ours. Won't give Pittsburgh. Oh, too far off. You know what? Third and something. We'll go for next year's draft. We'll go a 5th-round pick. We have 2 fourths. We can make up for it. That works. We pick up Jason Dickinson. Just a small depth move that helps us out at the moment. I like that, and he's more playoff ready. I feel like I'll be more comfortable to put him in, maybe over a guy like Adam Nemec or Ty Mueller. When we get there, we did pick up a win against the Ducks, which is exactly what we needed here as we increase the lead against the Flames, but they still have games in hand on us. Our next game we're going to be doing is against the Winnipeg Jets, so we will get over there, which is, is it literally the next game? It is the next game. I did not know that. I thought that it was a bit away, as we'll hop into this game, we'll simulate it, and then we'll go through the rest of the season to... You know what? I'm going to keep it a surprise. I will surprise you guys. We'll see you guys at the last game of the year against Colorado after this game. So you guys will get an instant reaction to how... Actually, no, we'll go slow. Might as well go slow. First period here against the Winnipeg Jets, no goals. Second period, each team trades, with Yeager and Lekermacki picking them up. The third period, tie game here, low shots, power play, but they pick it up. Oh, I thought it was blue. I thought we got it. As Alexis Joseph picks it up against Thatcher Demko there on the power play. Vancouver needs one to tie it here. Can we send it to overtime? Can we get some overtime action here in this video? We picked all the wrong games, as we will lose 2-1 to the Winnipeg Jets. We'll go slow just in case there's an insane collapse. We get to watch it in real time, and you know what? That's probably the heartbreak that could help this team as we move into another game against the Minnesota Wild this time. No, both of them were away, as we will sim to this game against Colorado. We will sim the rest of the season here. How will we do? First game against Minnesota and the second of a back-to-back. We pick up a win into overtime. Chicago, a win. Nashville, lost, but we get a point. We're 2 back from the Ducks, which is really nice to see. 2 games against the Oilers. This could be some tide-shifting hockey right here if we're able to pick up 2 wins. A win, 6-4. Second game against the Oilers. A loss as we trade wins with the Edmonton Oilers. Vegas, we pick up a win. Are they close to us at all? They are pretty close to us, so this would help. 2 big wins against the Vegas Golden Knights does help us and moves us into second in the division. A loss against Dallas. Calgary, this is a big game. A big win against Calgary. We're at 88 points. We're closing the gap to being clinched in the playoffs. Another win against Vegas. San Jose, 1-0 loss. Seattle, we pick up a point. We drop down to third into the division, but I just want to clinch the playoffs. That's all that matters to me. A game against Pittsburgh, a win. The Islanders, as we move into the game against the Islanders, Jorge Cruz wants to talk to us, and we know what this conversation is. We set out to make the playoffs this season, and now we've officially clinched a spot. And there we go. Your Vancouver Canucks are entering the playoffs for the first time in this rebuild under GM Canucks land as we do pick up a win against the Islanders. A game against the Calgary Flames could help push us. Could we challenge the Oilers for first in the Pacific here? A big win, 7-4 against the Flames. Three more games to go. A loss, and it does not look like, we will not be getting first in the division, but this game against Colorado is massive, as the Ducks also have a game. So it could mean a home ice advantage for us in the playoffs, and I am so excited. Now, I've learned from GM Superman's mistakes. I will not be touching any playoff things, and hopefully not ruining the discipline of our players, as Ethan Belche grows to an 86. So he's starting to make a case of why he could possibly play higher in the lineup, as we'll look through, just in case there's anyone else who's grown. Medvedev. Has Medvedev grown at all? Still at 86. Now, I know these guys have got us to the playoffs where it is, but I think Ty Mueller and I don't want to say DPD, right? I don't want to say DPD, but at the same time, I don't want to say Slogobov or anyone else to move out of the lineup. I feel like we'll keep Erik Karlsson out, and he'll be like a change, but Jason Dickinson will move in, possibly just to help us out in the playoffs. We'll get there. You know what? That will be the question for this video, because we're going to be wrapping it up, thank God, before the draft lottery, because we're entering the playoffs officially. I'm so excited as we enter this game against the Colorado Avalanche. We're going to go through it all so slow as Ogren picks up a goal to start the game. We need a win here. A win clinches home ice advantage in our first series against the Anaheim Ducks, potentially. I don't know, maybe they could get bumped out of that spot. I did not look that much farther to see. After this game, we will go look at the player stats for the season in the NHL and the AHL, and check out the whole league and see how everyone else was doing around the league as we continue to hold a 1-0 lead here against the Colorado Avalanche. We are not shooting that many shots, but it doesn't matter as we're getting them in the net, as Jonathan Lekkerimäki makes it 2-0 and Adam Nemec makes it 3-0. I was potentially thinking of moving Adam Nemec out of the lineup, but you know what? He has been playing good in the games that we are simulating this season. As we have 3 minutes to go here in the second period, we pick up another one. Steve Boyum in front of the net, too, as we are up 4-0 against the Colorado Avalanche. The third period, if we add one more, I'll skip the rest of it. I don't know, maybe. Do we add? Nathan McKinnon gets one and ruins the shutout for Alexei Medvedev, and we are up 4-1, and they had another one. Natchez makes it 4-2. Hey, we don't want this kind of slip happening right before the playoffs. Are we able to hold on? We do. Ogren picks up the empty netter, and your Vancouver Canucks have clinched home ice advantage in the first round of the playoffs against the Anaheim Ducks, as it looks like there. We will move over there officially soon. Let's get to the stats. How did our players do this season? And it seems like Elias Pettersson is having himself a season. 26 goals, 53 assists for 79 points. That's nice to see. Steve Boyum, 11.50 for 61. That's nice. Lekkerimäki, 57 points, 28-29 for 57. 28 goals for Dadonov, which is really nice to see. He has a decent shot. Like, it's kind of like a pretty average stats throughout the whole, throughout his whole thing. So that's what... it's nice to see that he's able to pick up, kind of 50-50 stats. Brock Besser, 22 goals, 31 assists for 53 points. 53 points of Vilander. Lawrence gets 50 points on the second line with Ogren, and Lekkerimäki still at 87. So we'll see how his development goes in the future. Belche, 46 points on the third line. What a year for Ethan Belche. He did have power play 1 minute as we threw him in front of the net. Let's go. I feel like you can check it out on the screen where we're at. So he get 11 power play points. All 5 of them goals, 6 of them assists. So 11 of his 46 were on the power play. So he was picking up decent 5-on-5 points. Ogren getting 45. Coots got 44 on the third line. Novotny did pretty good this season as well. It sucks that he's not growing in overall a little bit. I feel like I was just hoping for a little bit more. Hronek had a bit of a down season in terms of points, but when you're playing with a guy like Zeev Boyum, he's bound to pick up a little bit more points. Look at Adam Nebic's shooting percentage. 77 shots. He put 12 of them in the back of the net this season. The fourth line, Ratu Mueller rounded out. Slogobov did not pick up as many points, but he is not the points guy, right? He is a defensive beast. Look at that defensive category. The skating category isn't that bad either. Like, this guy could be a really, really solid, dynamic defensive defenseman for us. DPD rounds out the bottom of it. Let's go check out rookie skaters. Who are our rookie skaters? Novotny leads the rookie skaters with 37. Smits 22. Nemec 18. And then Slogobov. Goaltending, it is Thatcher Demko, who had a 906 and a 318, while Alexei Medvedev had a 919 with a 270 in his 32 games. 3 shutouts for Demko, 1 shutout for Alexei Medvedev. Let's move into the stats throughout the... actually, let's move to the AHL real quick. As Dahl picked up 33 points, it looks like this Abbotsford team was not that great. We'll see at the end of the season after the playoffs how these guys develop, because that's really when we start to see it, unless, we'll just go over to those big players potentially being there. Let's move over to the NHL, and let's get to the entire NHL and see how the scoring was around the league. Matthews and Nylander lead the scoring with 111 and 100, the only 2 100-point players. Dahlin, 96 points. He is going to win the Norris. What a year for him. Bouchard. Actually, you know what? The plus-minus might favor Bouchard a little bit. We'll see how that goes. I feel like Bouchard might get the Norris here. McDavid, 93 points. McKinnon, 93. Peterka, what a year for him. Draisaitl. So, yeah, our top player, Elias Pettersson, is a little bit down there, but still, we have a guy who's at least a little up there. Defensive points, we're assuming, Dahlin, Bouchard, Makar, Fox, Rensky, Quinn Hughes, 74 points. As a 96 overall offensive defenseman, I expect a little bit more from Quinn Hughes here, as he has locked up to 12.145 for 6 more seasons. No movement across the board. Boyum up there in defensive points. That's nice to see as he grows a 91 overall. Rookie skaters. Last one we'll check before we go to the goaltenders. Stock Silius. He is a created player who was originally on the Calgary Flames, I see. And he's moved over to the New Jersey Devils. He leads the rookies in points. So it looks like he might be winning the Calder Trophy as Maddox Schultz on the Chicago Blackhawks. That's just unfair. Maddox Schultz and Connor Bedard on the Chicago Blackhawks. Novotny does make the front page, which is nice to see. Let's see here. Who else? I'm pretty sure this Chung guy went up. He was 5th overall. So this is the guy we wanted to take, or we could have taken over Slogobov, but we ended up not taking him. I don't mind that pick at all. I mean, Slogobov is more a defensive defenseman, right? He's not going to be putting up the points. As Krause, 1st overall, 87 overall, already medium elite, 44 points on the year. Goaltending-wise, who had an insane year, and it looks like Michael Hrabel had an insane year, which is hopefully how you say his name. 85 overall, high starter with the Utah Mammoth, 921 with a 245, as I did see a 923 down here, Sebastian Kosa with a 247, so it does make things interesting, and they did get a lot of starts. So, potentially a tight race. Even you could go Philip Gustafsson, who started 72 games. He had a 924 with a... I feel like that's your Vezina candidate right there, unless we find someone else. Pretty good year for goaltending there. Dostal looks like he could contend for that as well. Let's make it official. Let's move over. 1, 2... The NHL season is complete, and we are officially facing off against the Anaheim Ducks in the first round. We will check progress reports after the next episode, but without further ado, that is it for this one. If you guys are a Canucks fan and you enjoy this kind of content, hit that subscribe button. I set a goal to try to hit 500 subscribers by the end of this real-life regular season. Leave a like and let me know in the comments down below. Should we put Jason Dickinson into the lineup? Should we put Erik Karlsson into the lineup? Or should we trust the guys that got us here? I'm 50-50 because those guys could definitely help us out in the playoffs. But yeah, without further ado, the video on your right is the video from Monday. The video on your left is the video from Wednesday. Subscribe's right down under the video on your right, and I'll see you guys in the next one.